What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
I'm just trying to live up to be the version of me my dogs think I am. Dopey and Izzy, they assume I've got it all together. Meanwhile, I'm Googling, can dogs eat watermelon? And realizing, hey, we're out of food. And I forgot the flea meds. Total chaos. But Chewy had both, delivered fast. Now they're well-fed, itch-free, and still convinced I'm a responsible adult. Chewy makes it super easy to get everything your pets need. Food, treats, meds, even toys. Shipped right to your door in 1 to 2 days. They've got vet visits, pet insurance, and even in-person clinics popping up. Oh, and fleas? Yeah, summer's peak season, even for indoor pets. Chewy's got vet-recommended treatments to help protect Dopey and Izzy or whoever's running your house. And here's my favorite feature, Auto Ship. It keeps the essentials coming, and if you're running out of food faster this month than last month, just change the date of arrival. They got you covered. No days with no food. Plus, 24/7 customer support. And if something's not right, send it back. No questions asked. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/Dan to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/Dan. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
A couple of things that I was trying to get to before Kevin Durant broke out all around us. I was beginning to say that a couple of Major League players just combusted on the field this weekend because of how hot it is. And while I'm also making fun of us for being a laissez-faire parade town where Greg, Cody, and Roy are the only ones out there, and Zaz is like, I couldn't get parking. Mike's like, it's too far away and it's hot. And Chris is, I've got a child. But it's just a general indifference about the second parade.
Well, we partied all week.
But
my parade was at 11.
I'm going to forgive you guys on behalf of people who aren't giving you permission for this when I say asking people to go into that heat in South Florida this time of year right now when it's hotter than it's ever been, it's an ask.
Mm-hmm. At 8 a.m. when the parade starts at noon. You had to get down there like before 9 to be able to move.
You know what else is an ask? Pulling an all-nighter at 11 and hosting the next morning. But I was there for that. I just couldn't do both.
I was at Elbow Room till about 6 p.m. that Wednesday that I did the show.
Bobby, where's the content from that? Because I was hoping to have
on our
content
socials
from that. Okay, but
I didn't get in until after we were off air. Look, don't get me started on that. What do you mean?
Roy said you abandoned him in the middle of the show.
No, it was in hour 2 when you guys were interviewing Nick Wright. I got in there then. I wanted to be down there at 8 a.m. and was told to come here first. So let's not get into finger pointing.
Let's not, but who would you point the finger at if you had to point it at someone?
Probably Roy. It seems like Roy.
Why?
Seems
Roy's a big carpool guy. He probably wanted to carpool with Chris.
He's a carpool lane guy, no doubt.
Really? Roy, you driving the carpool lane? Yeah. Chris, why didn't you take Rose or the camera in with you when you got in?
Because I didn't get in. It wasn't like a media event. I knew a bouncer there, and it was just like, let's go. I couldn't be like, all right, all my friends, come on, I got in.
Okay, great, you got in.
You didn't even try.
All right, look, I'm going to revisit this for a second.
We got there at noon.
Chris?
If we got there at 8 o'clock, I probably would have had more leeway.
Chris,
He's right.
Okay, who's in charge of when you leave?
Not pointing fingers.
He's not going to point fingers, Dan.
But
it's Roy.
Sounds like it might be you, Dan.
He's all
Seems like
pointing
he's
fingers.
blaming you, it seems like.
I mean, he's in charge of executive producing.
I'm not going to lie. I almost went rogue on Wednesday and just went straight there, even though I was told to come here.
Really?
Wow.
Because I was just like, I know I can get in. I know the content will be good. But I came here.
George Washington went rogue, and look what happened.
Thank you,
America happened. Sometimes leaders just need to know when to follow orders and when to make the best decision.
Thank you.
Make some leaders.
The thing that I wanted, though, to explore here, there is a bit of an obsession with the sports information people. The information brokers in sports are now the, most highly paid and famous of the journalists. But there is different reporting on what was available for Kevin Durant. And I would say, if some of the reporting is right, it would be insane for the Miami Heat to be unwilling to give up Jovic for Durant. I just don't know what to believe in the reporting, because the reporting is making it unclear to me, because you've got different people saying different things, and I haven't made the calls yet to know, but it would sound insane to me that the Miami Heat wouldn't trade Jovic for Durant, that would be the stumbling block. I don't believe that.
Did we believe Jovic was in the potential package for Damian Lillard? Yeah. Like, was he a name that was being talked about, we thought?
Back then.
So, we're saying we believe that the Heat were going to throw in Jovic for Lillard and not Durant?
He's younger.
I mean, he's more developed now. Here's how the report went. Initially, it was way worse, and it was Shams' initial report. And as we know, Shams is about as reputable a reporter in that sport, an information guy, and
doesn't mean he's right about everything.
Moreover, the one time the Miami Heat challenged him on this, and Bernie Lee, Jimmy Butler's agent.
That was the mascot.
No. Jimmy Butler's agent also made a big public show about going at Shams' credibility, and months later, it was pretty evident who was right about that stuff. It was Shams. So this is how it went. Shams comes out, invokes plenty of names that would make your skin crawl if the Miami Heat actually decided to not include a name like Haywood Highsmith. That was a Shams report. And then the spin to Barry Jackson, and that's what I will dub it, because it seems like damage control spin every time these guys now fail to get a superstar, was that no, Highsmith was in the deal. It was Jovic and Ware. Those were the pieces that we weren't willing to part with.
You say Miami Heat spin, but this isn't exactly a leaky organization, and they don't really like it, as no one would, when any of their players are mentioned in trade talks. Like
you just underscored why it's spin.
Right.
Because the leaks don't come out, and when they do, it's a concerted effort to craft the narrative.
I don't agree with that, because Dan is saying that the Heat doesn't like when their players' names are mentioned because it creates problems. And now you're saying that the Heat are actually going out of the way to say, no, we weren't including this guy too.
Mike, hold on. It's not crafting the narrative to, if you think that Highsmith is someone that you care about as a person and employee because he's done what's been asked of him here, you might not want him to think that he's just readily available to everybody. Like, you might not want to insult him that way when you're asking a great deal of him mentally and physically every day.
Are you guys, I'm serious, are you guys foolish? Are you fools? Are you fools to think that these players won't feel like their names are being brought up in trades because the Miami Heat haven't leaked their names, as if other aggregate accounts and other reporters aren't invoking it? Do you really, truly believe that the Miami Heat can protect their players from having their feelings hurt because they themselves don't leak the names? Or is this the logic that we are applying in 2025?
But why, after the deal is already done, they've already lost out on this deal, would they feel the need to say, yes, we definitely would have traded this guy and this guy and this guy? How is that beneficial to them?
To save face. And also, that kind of nukes the original point, doesn't it? That they don't like these players' names being out there, but then Barry Jackson, who is a great reporter, does some digging, and then the names come out anyways?
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, right? It can't be both.
It is both, because then it serves them. Because everyone is saying, what the hell are you talking about? You don't want to include a 28-year-old Haywood Highsmith who went undrafted as if he's this great project of yours.
Okay,
he's
but
a finished product.
If we're using logic here, and I'm great with using logic, why would anyone believe that the Heat would not include Haywood Highsmith in a deal for Kevin Durant? I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Because it was reported by
we can keep asking it, but I don't buy it.
It's believable.
Reporters are wrong sometimes. I would know. I'm a journalist.
The Miami Heat haven't been able to pull off one of these big deals in a long time. They haven't. In fact, the only big deal that they've been able to pull off in the last few years, we're not going to include Kyle Lowry because they got hit for tampering with that, and we all know that deal was made months in advance of it actually happening, was Jimmy Butler. And by that point, They had Philadelphia over a barrel, so then Josh Richardson goes. Remember, they could have had Jimmy Butler for that regular season run. They didn't want to include Josh Richardson in the deal. Josh Richardson. So you have a huge resume building of the Miami Heat not being able to pull off these big deals. Why? Because they cannot part with guys like Josh Richardson.
Billy, you were trying to get in there and there wasn't quite room.
No, it's fine. My candle. I was just going to say, you're asking why it is the Heat would do that because, like, you have a fan base that's now questioning whether or not the people running the organization are capable of pulling off trades. And the decision they have to make is like, well, yeah, we know what we're doing still. Yeah, Pat hasn't totally lost it. Yeah, he's still the Godfather. Yeah, he's doing this. He's doing that. So instead, they just throw out the names to kind of save face. And if they have to hurt the feelings of some of their lesser players, so be it.
What does totally lost it mean?
What do you mean?
What does totally lost it mean?
Yeah, what's it?
It?
Pat hasn't totally lost it.
Yeah, he's definitely lost that gravitas.
I'm not saying he has. I'm saying people are wondering if he has. It's a fair question to ask.
You know who has it now? Bill Zito.
Now he walks in the room. Wow. Now he walks in the room, drops the rings, and everyone thinks it was an accident. They're like, "Hey, come
here, you dropped something." By the way,
wow.
They start looking around. Oh, make sure there's no pills in there. The dogs, the kids could get those.
Oh, wow. So that's what we're going to do now.
We're not. Some people are doing that, not us.
Yes. Others are saying
some.
Okay, so wait. I'm sitting in a room.
Dan Le Batard show, colon.
Last time I heard from him, he was talking about some weird orb thing that he had in his hand in a 24-hour marathon. We were all super confused.
Very strange. Called amino acid.
Yeah.
I mean, the
writing was on the wall.
There is a case building here.
Wait a minute.
Thank you for that graphic on South Beach Sessions. Maybe I'm washed.
You guys are being really disrespectful.
Not us.
You're treating him like Joe Biden.
I mean, he's a similar age.
It was spitballed back
If
here.
he's dropping something on the table, is it his marbles?
The idea that you guys would now make it so that he's in front of Durant and now nobody wants him to get on his hands and knees because he spilled the rings on the floor, that they've just all fallen to the floor with clangs, really disrespectful. Of a man.
The door swings open.
Yeah.
It used to be him just like his aura walks in. Now it's like, go sit over there, Pat. That's where you're sitting for this meeting.
Man, that's bullshit.
People are doing that. We shouldn't. I don't think it's fair, but some people are.
amino acid.
Do you know that Pat Riley is basically the same age as Al Davis was when Al Davis pulled out the overhead projector and started going at Chris Mortensen, and everybody was like, man, the game has passed this guy by. He is old.
Mortensen.
Shouldn't say the game has passed him by. That's not fair.
Well, you said totally lost it.
I did not. I said some fans are questioning if that's the case, which is why they have to come out and possibly disparage or upset some of their own players.
All right, so real quick, just put this on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. What is the best of the blizzards? Because I go Heath Bar Crunch. I think that is the best. And when Marchand, he's making a lot of money as being someone who is the Blizzard King, the Rat King. He's doing well, grabbing at the end of, one would assume toward the end of his career.
That's your go-to, the Heath Bar? You know it's the most caloric. You probably shouldn't be having
That's why he does it.
I would say the Great Blizzard of 48.
Amino acid.
That's why he does it,
Some
Chris.
are
saying. Billy had a better one.
So, Chris, just to be clear, your joke is the reason I do the Heath Bar Crunch isn't because it's delicious. It's because it's the most caloric.
Most bang for your buck.
That's what I do. So you have me now aggressively going and seeing what has the most calories. You're comfortable making that joke at my expense, just like your dad is comfortable making fun of someone else's age when he's got reptilian skin.
If you're going to cheat, you should go big, right? Like, if you're going to have a cheat on your diet, you might as well get as most calories
I haven't
as
had one of those since college, but they're delicious.
The real asshole is the person who's like, I'm going to go get a Blizzard, and then looks at like, oh, this one's the healthiest.
Yeah.
This one is like,
I
what
understand.
kind of jerk would that be?
But the caloric delta is like so massive between the Heath Bar one and the next closest.
You ever get the chili dog at Dairy Queen?
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you ever get the chili dog at Dairy Queen?
That's my joke. We're a big Dairy Queen family. That's my joke every time we walk in. You getting the chili dog?
A lot of the DQs in Miami-Dade County are late to the whole food trend. They're just the exclusive ice cream. We don't actually have the full menu there. Again, one more time, Pat Riley is presently the same age as Al Davis was when everyone
you
said
guys didn't
Al
give me
Davis is
any
crazy
nominees.
and old and he should not be doing this anymore.
Oreo.
That is the same age that Pat Riley is right now. He has crossed the Al Davis Mortensen threshold.
Mortensen.
Oreo, Dan.
All right, so Zaz, just real clear here because
Reese's.
Billy. Oh, those are good.
What'd you call me?
Reese's.
Billy and Mike doing a disrespectful tap dance.
No.
A disrespectful tap dance on a man who, until the Panthers existed recently, is the only reason we've had any kind of winning in this town for 20 years because of what he built of the Miami Heat. So I'm asking Zaz and Cody as caretakers for local reason and sanity. Mike and Billy are speaking for a lot of the fan base and being just generally frustrated. What? The Heat are always going to swing and miss now?
Yeah, I mean, I get the frustration, but my point is, look at what we just watched in the finals. This league is different now, man. It's not, like the Phoenix Suns just got caught doing the thing where let's just get as many superstars as we possibly can and we'll figure out the rest. Look at those two teams last night, especially Indiana. Like, we could debate if Halliburton's even a superstar, period, but then everybody else, they got 7, 8, 9 players. That's how the league is built now, is you have to have a really deep team. The Heat give up all these pieces, and now you have Adebayo, Hero, and Durant. Well, I already told you I don't believe that.
All these pieces.
But you're also
I gotta say it again.
You're also saying that you'd be fine with them doing that for Giannis.
Well, yes.
So it's the
Giannis
if
a
the
little bit
league has
better than
passed them
Durant.
by and they're doing it wrong, they do it wrong with Giannis, and it wouldn't
so
work by
full of
your
it.
argument either.
Giannis a little bit better than Durant. I'm going on a limb.
If they got Durant yesterday, you'd be all in on the
I'd
deal.
been
You'd
fine
say,
with it.
You'd say,
I'd have been
oh,
loving it.
bull.
Oh,
bull.
get out of here. Where's the chicken?
You come in here
Where's
waving
the
the
chicken?
flag.
Hold on. Where's the chicken? Yells the EP.
I don't have it.
Hold on.
Better not plan for me.
Chicken time.
Come on, you're such a fraud.
Not me.
They got Durant. Chickassi was a word joke. It's a great deal. Let me tell you, it's a great deal. Good trade. Hey, you can still get Giannis. You can still get Giannis.
Father goes, he hasn't lost his touch.
That one chicken sounded stupid.
Billy, speak for the Heat fan base.
Me?
People
do think of me as the voice of the Heat fan. It is a good.
He's been the voice of reason.
In
I
all
try.
of your frustration,
I try.
You've been making fun of swing and miss.
No,
now.
I have not. I've said some people are doing so. If I'm coming and I'm reporting the news to you as I have received it, I'm a man that goes around. I'm a man about town.
Not
I'm a man
fooling
that
anyone
talks
with
to
that
people.
move. Some people are saying.
What do you
Some
mean?
fans are saying.
Man about
I
town.
heard.
How so?
He is fooling people.
I'm not
a
fooling
movie.
people. I'm telling you guys. Listen, you guys are up Pat Riley's ass, if we're going to be honest with you. You guys are not living in reality. There's a cavern up there that you guys are living in. You can't hear what the fans
I
are
bet it's
actually
nice.
saying. Okay? I'm just telling you what the fans are actually saying here. If you don't want to hear it, that's fine. But I can't just lie to you. I can't make up news to make you guys happy about what's going
Cody,
on. I'm a newsman.
what is the proper amount of respect to have here? Because I've told you, you have heard me over the last few years compliment ESPN a number of times on how it is they've treated Dick Vitale and Lee Corso toward the ends of their televised careers. It's hard to do that in this business. This business lacks a certain grace at the end. It's cutthroat, and they speak for the fan base, spoiled as it is by the relevance of the last 30 years that no one's entitled to here since Pat Riley got here, but that's the standard. And now it howls at his gate in a way I've never heard before.
Billy's not wrong. All you have to do is look at social media, which can be very brutal toward and against Pat Riley now. I mean, he is losing the faith of Panthers fans or Heat fans who see what the Panthers are doing and say, why are we being left behind by a hockey team? Thank you. But I don't believe that they made a good faith effort for Durant. I mean, that was a shit effort they made. If they're not even going to throw in, you talk about Jovic. Kelly Ware is the one, obviously the bigger prize, and then they're only offering one first-round draft pick.
But I don't know what's true. I don't know what's true.
So the bad stuff, we just don't believe that.
Yeah, we don't know if the bad stuff's
No,
true.
the not logical stuff is what we don't believe.
Says, you made the argument, look at the NBA Finals. You need to have deep teams. Well, I look at the NBA Finals. I see a team that traded Paul George to another team, got a bunch of assets, got guys like Pascal Siakam, guys that Miami couldn't get. And I look at OKC, and the whole thing about Heat culture is they're not going to tank seasons. They're not going to stockpile draft picks. Okay, fine. We did it with the big three, depleted our assets. We made it back to 2 finals with Jimmy Butler doing it your way. But right now, the Miami Heat seem about as far from the top of the mountain as they probably ever been. Because even that one year where they got the number 2 pick, you still had a prime D Wade. They're about as far as ever, and everybody else's way is looking better than Pat Riley's.
Hey guys, it's Jeremy, and I'm spending the early parts of this summer trying to go on a health kick. I want to feel like I'm being the healthiest to my body inside and out, and I want to do that in an easy way, because I'm busy, you're busy, we're all busy. It's that time of the year where even though things are lightening up for kids getting out of school, we all still have work to do. Let's make this our best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. You just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. And they've got 45 weekly menu options, so you're never going to get bored. You're always going to enjoy it. And for me, these meals have really helped sustain me when I'm looking for something healthy, when I'm running between here at the Batard show and the Marlins games and stuff we've had to do with the Heat. I'm constantly just running between events, and being able to just stick this meal in the microwave and enjoy it. That's tasty. There's really good chicken options and shrimp options. There's red meat. There's really everything that you could be looking for. So go ahead and get started at factormeals.com/Dan50off and use code Dan50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Dan50off at factormeals.com/Dan50off for 50% off plus free shipping.
I'm just trying to live up to be the version of me my dogs think I am. Dopey and Izzy, they assume I've got it all together. Meanwhile, I'm Googling, can dogs eat watermelon? And realizing, hey, we're out of food. And I forgot the flea meds. Total chaos. But Chewy had both, delivered fast. Now they're well-fed, itch-free, and still convinced I'm a responsible adult. Chewy makes it super easy to get everything your pets need. Food, treats, meds, even toys. Shipped right to your door in 1 to 2 days. They've got vet visits, pet insurance, and even in-person clinics popping up. Oh, and fleas? Yeah, summer's peak season, even for indoor pets. Chewy's got vet-recommended treatments to help protect Dopey and Izzy or whoever's running your house. And here's my favorite feature, Auto Ship. It keeps the essentials coming, and if you're running out of food faster this month than last month, just change the date of arrival. They got you covered. No days with no food. Plus, 24/7 customer support. And if something's not right, send it back. No questions asked. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/Dan. That's chewy.com/Dan to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/Dan. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
What does Zyn give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but real freedom. Freedom to do what you love and choose your rewards. With Zyn Rewards, you can redeem points for premium tech, outdoor gear, and gift cards to your favorite retailers. Find your Zyn and keep finding rewards that fit your lifestyle at zyn.com/rewards. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Don Batard.
He has been great. He's made great hires.
I said all.
We've said all.
He said all.
We've said all.
Everyone has said everything.
First I heard any of this, Greg.
Everything you're saying,
It's all been said.
It's all been said.
Okay, you got to understand one thing.
Stugotz.
Me maximum.
That's
Until
right.
I say it, it hasn't been said.
Boom.
Okay, understand that.
You're the mayor.
Until I say it, it hasn't been said.
Me maximum.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
All right, let me move on to what it is that we did witness last night, okay? Because when I remember where I was when you heard Kawhi and Paul George going to the Clippers. What is happening there? Are the Clippers getting in the game? Going to wrestle?
Where were you?
Wrestle the city?
Yeah, I want to know where you were, man.
Away.
Yeah.
So I was at Las Rosas.
Was it a
Wasn't
big
that big a
thing?
deal,
It was a where were you moment.
Were you at a meal?
I was home.
Say, stop the presses.
Do you guys? I did not say stop the presses. Why would I be doing that? Did you
Well,
think
you
I
were
was?
a
Did you
writer.
think I was in a press room? Do you think I
I
was?
don't know.
In
You won't tell us.
Are you of the belief that I was at a printing press?
Yes.
You were next to the wire.
Right, union worker.
The last time I heard Billy yell "Stop the presses" is when he was reporting that Daniel Day-Lewis was coming out of retirement. He used the
shocker.
phrase
Yeah.
"Stop the presses."
That's why he's back again. Oh, he didn't actually retire.
Right. Who knew he retired?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, where were you?
Stop the presses.
Sounds like he doesn't remember.
Where were you on that fateful night?
Where were you?
Dan's saying stop the presses. He doesn't want to answer this question.
But you remember where you were? Where were you?
Yes, I was.
could just lie.
I was at the Clevelander. Yes, I could just lie. Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome.
But I do remember where I was, and I assume that I didn't think I was saying anything. I know you guys were quick to seize there, but when Kawhi and Paul George were traded, I feel like a lot of people remember that was a lot of picks, and it was signaling a change that at the time I don't think any of us had, hey, and in a few years, Paul George will not have gone very far and his body would break. Kawhi Leonard would have had his body break. Number of different bodies, including one last night, have broken during these playoffs in the pursuit of this thing. And here's OKC with the most valuable asset you can now have in the futurized elements of this league, which is, we can lock everyone in for 7 years at a fixed cost where they can't leave OKC because we can game the system by having all the picks and just create this frenzy because we've got an MVP and we've got a team that was actually too young to win the title. Like that team was great. And that team's youth showed throughout all of that final as Mike's sitting here pining for Siakam when none of us thought that was the Heat standard when Siakam was available.
No, because everybody was doing the thing like, we'll get Bradley Beal instead.
Okay, but
you guys were too good to even consider guys like Pascal Siakam because we were chasing the next rail.
And now you look smart on Anunoby and you look smart with perimeter two-way players. And yes, the league changed, and I will forgive an 80-year-old man who has revolutionized the way that the leagues change, has gone from throwing in the post to the center to three-point basketball, and then there was another shift here, and they did not keep up by knowing that Indiana would be good enough with Siakam as their second-best player, when I don't think when Siakam went there that any of us thought it was that. We thought that they would get better. We did not think Indiana was a contender because they got Siakam.
It was also a different time in Heat history. They were closer to the success of yesteryear, and they had found that their way of operating was the proper way. I understand why Miami Heat fans fell in love with the way that the Miami Heat do business up until very recently, when it was probably time to capitulate and they probably went a season and a half, 2 seasons too long. It was the right way. But now these are fair and accurate questions.
Can we talk, though, about what it is that happened last night? Because I don't want to just skip past a championship in the sport by merely dismissing it as, for me, anticlimax. But it was such a bummer not to be able to follow this entire season of storylines to the end of would Halliburton be able to test them on the road and make OKC earn a championship in a way a team that young normally wouldn't win, even with its regular season credentials. What I was telling you about teams this good during the regular season, all of them whip through the playoffs. They lose a maximum of 3 times the entire playoffs because they're way too good. OKC just won a series where they were a clearly better team that got dragged into the mud, and I wanted to see them have to earn it at the end of Game 7. And as soon as Halliburton went out, and I feel like I'm covering sports wrong if that's my reaction. A champion is a champion. A champion, it's hard to earn a championship. Injuries happen all the time. And just because I was emotionally disappointed that Game 7 didn't provide the narrative I wanted, that series ended and the basketball season ended in a way that felt unsatisfying to me, because I wanted to see the MVP have to win it, not go 8 for 27 and be able to score 100 points and kind of win it, but with everyone out there playing terribly.
But when you look back on champions, you don't care. Time forgets whether they won a series by a sweep or whether they won it in 7 games. And time will eventually forget that they won this one partly because Halliburton got hurt early in the final game. Nobody's going to give OKC as much credit. And when you say that other teams with regular seasons like that dominate more than they did in the playoffs, none of those other teams were as young as OKC. They were learning on the fly how to win, and they did so with an asterisk. The Halliburton asterisk is going to be there for a little bit.
Not really. It doesn't matter. Kawhi won the one in Toronto whether Golden State was hurt or not.
Yeah,
Kawhi won the one in Toronto.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
but Kawhi also did so without being able to have 2 feet leave the ground. Like, look at those highlights. Kawhi was very clearly injured too. He was fighting through it. And I think you're selling them short. It wasn't just Halliburton. Yeah, the injury happened earlier in the series and he had to tough it out. But Denver was injured. Denver was not healthy when they went through Denver. Anthony Edwards was dealing with injuries when they went through Minnesota. They got very lucky.
Okay,
this is a second straight year that the NBA champion, who you have questions as to whether or not they can get over the hump and conquer some of the mental aspects, didn't actually have to take on the best shot of any of their competitors.
Okay, they got lucky, but at the same time, when somebody with the best regular season record, they won wire to wire OKC. Give them that credit. They won wire to wire this season.
Yes.
They own the season.
Yes. I love what you're doing right now where you're swinging the top of your thermos wildly while you make a point. I think it should be a new signature of yours.
Right.
3 players tore their Achilles here. Mike, you have this way of just saying tough it out, grind it out when, like, that's what it looks like when you're ignoring your body screaming and looking in Game 6 like your body's healthy when it's not healthy, and then other things start breaking.
I'm saying tough it out, grind it out because everyone does this year. I'm just highlighting the fact that for the second straight year, the NBA champion has had a stroke of good luck. Now, you need some good luck, but injuries to the team's best or second best players. You saw what happened with Aaron Gordon. You saw what happened with Anthony Edwards. You see what happened with Halliburton. These are footnotes, much like the Celtics last year, who kept having the favorable luck of running into a team that had an injury to the best player. But I do want to talk about the Achilles thing, because this used to be a rare injury in the NBA. It used to be a death sentence.
It's a rare injury in all sports.
And it's not happening to random people now. We had 3 superstars suffer this injury, 2 of which not even in their primes, still entering their primes in Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton. You had Lillard, who everyone kind of expected that. It gave off the vibes the same way that the Halliburton injury did. Oh, this calf strain, if you push through, that usually means it's an Achilles. But this is a really unprecedented time in NBA history to have that catastrophic of an injury happen to 3 superstars, 3 future Hall of Famers.
How about all 3 of them, Tatum, Lillard, and Halliburton, all wear number 0? That's some voodoo shit.
Eerie.
I don't like it.
Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Is that some voodoo shit? At Batard Show. And I feel like I'm doing this wrong because it was a really, really fun and wonderful postseason. And I just wanted it to get to the fourth quarter. The Pacers, that's the best Pacers team there has ever been, okay? Don't long for the days of Antonio and Dale Davis. This is the best Pacers team that there has ever been. And they were a half away from winning the championship with their best player gone and T.J. McConnell leading the way.
That's their best player.
Look, man.
He's awesome, man.
T.J. McConnell, is this his mother after the game?
Yeah. Give me a break with that.
What do you mean, give you a break with this?
She's like she's angry at the cameraman. Give me a break.
Well, T.J.
You
McConnell.
guys with Riley today. Jeez.
Maybe we less helicopter parent.
Can we make that Riley and
that's you guys crawling up
the mom?
That's you guys crawling up the cavity. Yeah. Pat Riley's cavity.
I did some journalism as a newsman, if you guys are interested in here.
Yes.
So I looked up. Adrian Wojnarowski reported the Paul George trade to the Los Angeles Clippers Saturday, July 6, 2019 at 1:55 a.m. If that helps.
Yeah, that's why I was at Las Rosas. I was at an afters.
I said I was at the Cleveland.
You were at the Clevelander at 1:30 in the morning on a Saturday?
Using that room
you were in your office?
Using that room they gave you?
Very hard to believe.
Yeah, the concrete sink in the room. Yeah, that's
that room
what I was
wasn't that
using.
bad. It's cool.
Nice. Went up there to take a couple.
The
poops.
one balcony in the whole hotel. They're like, you can have this one.
It was right over the stage. It'd be great if there was like a Mardi Gras themed party at the Cleveland. You just kind of toss things out
How'd you
there.
get the one balcony?
The parade that I do like is the Mardi Gras parade. It's the only one of the parades. Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Better parade, championship parade or Mardi Gras parade? Greg Cote has been the lone voice shouting through the curse-soaked din, saying, "Watch the language, boys. Watch the language at the parade. Watch the language at the celebration. Let's tone down the language at the party."
It was fucking ridiculous what they were saying on that stage. I mean, seriously.
To Greg's point, individually, that Sam Reinhart clip, that Sam Bennett clip could be iconic if it wasn't so diluted by all the previous F-bombs. You take the power away. Every parade has a good F-bomb in it. You take the power away from the F word if you keep using it time and time again.
Yeah. Thank you. Mike's not wrong, and I'm not a prude. I'm the opposite of a prude. Yeah. But I thought...
Put that on the poll.
And I was the only one... Roy was there. We were the only ones there to actually see how many young people were in the crowd.
What's the opposite of a prude? It's like a slut, right?
That's the thing I was just going to ask.
A flapper.
What does that mean?
The opposite of a prude?
I don't look at you and say that's the opposite of a prude.
I look at you and I'm like, that guy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly what?
I curse.
Yeah.
No, but that's not what we were
I'm a
talking
cursor.
about.
Yeah.
There's only been twice in
I
the
write
show's
in
history
cursive.
where I look at a guy and I'm like, that dude. It's you and Jason Benetti.
Thank you.
I write in cursive.
I do. I curse. I write in cursive.
Okay, you know what?
Why are you making fun of me for not wanting my local team to use so many F-bombs in their
I'm making fun of you for a couple of different reasons, but the primary one at the moment is you saying you're the opposite of a prude. Now, last time you were in here, you had your pinky ring, and I said it meant that you were open for business, and I meant what I said.
Bump, bump.
To apologize to absolutely no one.
The opposite of a prude, Chris. I want
Jason Benetti.
What is the opposite of a prude? I want to know what it is because this is not what I look like. This is not what it looks like right here. Like you, I don't know why you would go to the lengths to say I'm the opposite of a prude.
Well, because anybody who objects to athletes using the F-bomb.
You to the mic.
What do I do? The mic's right here. Let the mic come to me.
He's been frustrated all show by the fact that you have not once spoken into the microphone as a professional broadcaster. This is why Zaslow gets so frustrated with you.
He's a professional broadcaster loosely.
He'll start right here and then he'll fade. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm having a conversation here.
Zaz, please critique Greg Cote. This has been a frustration of yours as someone who loves the audio experience.
Yes, have some respect. It'd be like if I got to write a guest column in the Herald and I wrote it in crayon. It's disrespectful.
It's coming from Zaz. That means a lot. It's like a graffiti artist,
He's
Go
right.
on.
No, he's right.
He's right. He is. How about a harlot?
I'm not saying I'm Monet.
It's like a graffiti artist doing what?
Critiquing Monet.
Are you more of a Monet or a Manet?
I'm a Monet.
Yeah, I thought so.
Monet Davis.
Whoa.
I'm a journalist. He's not. Now, granted, he's been speaking into a mic longer than I have.
You had a Go Panthers thing outside of your house.
What's that?
You had a Go Panthers sign outside of your house.
That my wife asked me to put up.
Yeah.
And I obliged. I'm not the. You may not know. I'm not the only one who lives in my house. I have a dog, a cat, and a wife. Not necessarily in that order. When she asked me to put up a Go Cat sign, what am I going to object? Because I'm a journalist? No. I'm going to put up a sign. Who cares? The only ones who see it are my neighbors until you mentioned it on a national show.
Mm-hmm.
You just compared yourself to Monet.
Right. I love Monet. I visited his place in France a few years ago. My wife and I did.
How was it?
It was great.
Yeah.
You know, the gardens are everything you imagine.
Look at me, Luigi.
When you see what his artwork, his paintings mostly consist of, you really appreciate it by visiting his childhood home.
European gardens seem so much more majestic than American gardens.
That's exactly what they are, is majestic.
Yeah.
They all have these bridges and the artwork in them, and water and bubbling brooks. So great.
Go on.
Wonderful.
Bridges in a garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. Go to France, look up Monet's childhood into young adult home, and understand why he's so great as a painter.
His 1440, if you will.
Yeah, that's right, Billy.
The
Well put.
opposite of a prude is a libertine.
Okay, there you go.
Can you define that for me, please?
Having or showing lowered moral character or standards.
That's me. The moral character don't get no lower than me. I'm kidding.
You stepped on...
Look at me, Luigi.
Because you were doing something...
Oh, I was mentioning Monet. I can't mention Monet.
You were... you comparing yourself to Monet when my brother was a graffiti artist? Like, I can't believe what you just did to Zaslow. You hold yourself in such higher regard to what Zaslow is, what you do to what he does?
Yeah. Well, we're totally... I'm a journalist. He's not. I'm primarily a writer who...
Disagree.
Who has learned to speak into a mic, and he's a shock jock. And so I'm not insulting him. Neither am I insulting the great Lebo, who I don't consider to be a graffiti artist.
Who was closer, Lebo to Monet or Zaslow to Greg Cote?
Probably Lebo to Monet. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Respect. Yes.
I'm feeling the respect.
Thank you. It's not intended for you. It's intended for Lebo.
Do you not respect Zaz?
I do respect him, but I don't need him to school me. Granted, if I'm going like this and I need to lean into the mic, he is qualified to tell me to lean in.
He marvels at how you can be still so unprofessional after all of these years. He thinks it sort of disrespects the medium.
It's almost impressive.
Well,
things must be getting heated because my dad's glasses are getting foggy.
Look, the thing.
Something's
Here's
up
the
with
thing.
the AC.
Here's the thing, and this is the beauty of me. This is why the people who love me love me.
I was hoping to hear the beauty of you as I came today.
I'm trying to have a conversation here. Okay.
I love that you raising your glasses. It's revealed a Zagaki-like farmer's tan.
I know.
Take the glasses off. Take them off. Take them off.
Take them off. And the floor is yours. Take them off.
Zagaki.
I know.
All right, just go ahead.
I don't want
go
to
ahead. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Look, I am somebody who wants people to hear me having a conversation with friends and coworkers of mine. I'm trying to go on.
We
You
don't need that.
To keep saying go on. And
I like it.
You know, I don't want to be too structured and stilted and have a broadcaster's voice like someone named.
Was that your impression of me?
No, you have the opposite of a broadcaster's voice.
I don't know how to take
Whoa.
Respectfully.
No, I mean-
From the opposite of a prude.
No, I'm being
From a libertine.
And you know what? That's not a criticism. When I say he doesn't have a broadcaster's voice, that's not a criticism. Okay, Chris Whittingham has a broadcaster's voice. Jeremy Taché has a broadcaster's voice. I personally, and I'm not saying I invented this, but I'm one who does not want to have a broadcaster's voice. I want to sound very conversational. That's why sometimes I flail my arms and I drift away from the microphone. People still hear me. If I'm talking like this, people still hear me. It's not a big deal.
You make fun of Eric Reed's broadcaster voice.
Yeah, he's very broadcaster.
Roy, I need you to stop being hungover from hockey, please.
Apologize.
Like, get it together, okay? I need you to get it together. Sound. We're in the business of sounds. Get yours together. Thank you. We've got Cody over here.
Look at Monet's house there.
That is in the preview.
Yeah,
it's
well
not
said.
on the screen yet. It's Monet's house. Yes.
Majestic.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have ascended those green stairs.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
We were
excellent.
It's a stupid-looking house.
there. It's gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
There's a bunch of shit growing on the house. They should probably cut that.
They're intended.
Get a gardener.
Please.
Yeah, Greg is king and you're his peasants. Be maximum. Fuck yeah, my way is the only way. Yeah, if we share a hotel room, you know who you answer to. Me maximum. Fuck you. My comfort is of most importance. Me maximum. Fuck you. Say it again so they can hear it in the back.
Classic.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan. Now, if you've been listening to the show a lot lately, you've heard so much playoff talk. Playoff hoops. Down here in South Florida, we're especially enamored with playoff hockey. It's not just limited to the playoffs. Motorsports, tennis, golf. It's truly one of the best times in the sporting calendar. And with the weather outside warming up, it's just perfect to hop in a pool, maybe grill up some food, but most certainly crack open some Miller Lights. I just described a pretty perfect day, didn't I? And it culminates with Miller time. There's something about a perfect grilling day. The sun's out, friends show up, and that first sip of Miller Lite just hits different. I've been stocking up the cooler with it for years. This year, Miller Lite turns 50. That is 5 decades of cookouts, laughs, and ice-cold moments that never miss. And if you've listened to the show for its 20-year existence, you know this to be true. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.